Well, welcome back to Morning Break. We have Sara Morrison and her son Lincoln joining us today. They are from Aspiring Sprouts, so thank you guys for being on this show. Lincoln, did you get out of school for this?
Yes.
Nice. You're welcome. Yes, that's awesome. Well, I'm really glad that you guys are here, and you guys have a really interesting story that I think a lot of you guys, especially parents, will relate to, and that is understanding our bodies and what our kids' bodies and what might we be putting into them that's not good for them. So tell us a little bit about Lincoln's story and what you were noticing at first.
Well, okay, so I work with people who have lots of different reactions, lots of GI issues, chronic pain, and that sort of thing. And my son had been having issues for quite a while. Honestly, like, we got allergy testing when he was 2, nothing allergic, but I knew as a mother and then also as a dietitian, I'm like, something's wrong. But it kind of went on the wayside, and until, I don't know, last year, I was like, maybe I should be doing this food sensitivity and reaction test on my son. And so my husband and I spoke about it, and we decided, and spoke with Lincoln about it, and we decided to do it. And primarily, his issues. Do you want to talk about what your issues were at first?
My issues were I barfed like twice a month.
Oh, no.
I had really bad heartburn. And
at 8 years old?
At 8.
Wow.
And I have eczema, and it was like down here and on my in here and here and in here, and then afterwards it just got so much better.
Really? Okay. So what was the test that you did with Lincoln?
So I use a tool called the MRT test, and it's mediator release test. And then that test gives us actionable information, and we get to kind of see what his blood is doing specifically. Only Lincoln Scott Morrison, his blood, and how it's reacting to 176 different foods and food chemicals. So think MSG, which isn't always bad for everybody, or food dyes and that sort of thing. So we tested him with the MRT test, and that gives me, as a dietitian, the tools to kind of create a very personalized, highly personalized, anti-inflammatory eating pattern. So from there, we decided to eliminate, like cold turkey, we eliminated his highly reactive foods. The other foods, as an 8-year-old, were like corn and wheat,
that's hard.
Which are slightly less reactive for Lincoln. So yes, very hard.
Yeah. I think of like what we eat. I'm like, corn and wheat is in almost everything.
Yes, and soy. Now, wonderfully, this test, his body was kind of like, I like to think of our lives like a bucket. It sounds kind of weird, but we have stress, and as humans, our buckets of stress fill up, and sometimes it takes a long time. Sometimes my clients are 70 and they're like, I've never had food allergies or food issues ever, and all of a sudden, I'm like, well, your bucket just got filled up. For some people it's 8, some people it's 2, some people it's an infant with terrible reflux, and whatever it is, we have to empty out that bucket. Sometimes it's honey, and you gotta really wash it out pretty good, and then you can start filling it back up. So Lincoln is able to, we started reintroducing some foods last week, and he really wanted to start. I make homemade sourdough bread with organic wheat. So we tried that, and that's been okay.
Wow,
now he doesn't, we're not doing it every single day for breakfast, lunch, and dinner, but so far he's not had, so far it's been okay.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah, not as many tummy aches, not as much throwing up and stuff. That's great.
Yeah, he hasn't thrown up in a long time.
And before the
Actually,
show,
it's been like months since I have.
That's amazing. And before the show, you were telling me that you actually had a really unique sensitivity to ginger. Tell us, what was that?
Well, ginger, when I had been like barfing, my mom would always give me ginger tea. And no wonder it never helped, because I was sensitive to it. Like, I was very reactive to it.
But
so
how would you have known?
Yeah.
You have known.
No,
Yeah.
that's so interesting. Now, the MRT is something that you offer at Aspiring Sprouts. There's some controversy to it, so we encourage everyone to do their research, look into it. But if you are being like, whether it's yourself or your kids, and you're like, things are just not adding up, and I don't know what it is, because when it comes to those sensitivities, you're like, I don't even know what I ate that could possibly be upsetting my stomach. This is a good way to deduce that.
Yes, the hardest thing about food sensitivities and intolerances is the phase, like how long it can take to actually witness. So with food allergies, an actual immune allergy, usually it's very quick response. With food sensitivities, it can take up to 3, maybe even 4 days. And so as a dietitian and certified LEAP therapist who can take you through the LEAP protocol after the MRT test, I investigate. I'm like, oh, look at that pattern. And we bring in foods strategically so that you can actually listen to your body and hear it whisper when things are not feeling very well versus like being loud all the time and not being able to be like, well, was it the cheese or was it the cracker? Like, it's really difficult to tell.
I can imagine and stuff. And so that's where you come in. You can help create these personalized eating guides, whether it's personalized to you, personalized to your family, because like you said, everyone's different, including every member of your family. And so trying to figure out how to create family meals based on everyone's preferences, that's just, it's a big deal. It can be very challenging, and you're here to help.
Yes,
I love that. So where can people find you?
You can visit aspiringsprouts.com. I'm also on social media, pretty much all of them. And you can find me there at my website as well.
Okay, perfect. And I always make sure that all of the links to the websites and social media accounts, they're always on our website, colatv.com, so you can go ahead and check it out. And Lincoln, as somebody who took the test, do you recommend it? Do you feel better having known what it was kind of causing these issues?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think knowing what my mom would like avoid for me would be like easier for me.
Yeah, and you feel better, right?
Yeah,
so you're starting
much better.
2024 off on a great, strong note. That's wonderful. I'm glad you're doing so much better. Thank you, both of you guys, for being here, and Lincoln for sharing your story. Like I said, I'll make sure their information and this interview is on our website, colatv.com, after the show, so you can check it out. We'll be right back.